So I'm here today to talk about perceptual barriers in education. So everyone has been a student for a large amount of their lives, and they have probably had situations where they've misinterpreted what the teacher was teaching them. And the stage where children develop language is arguably the most important, so they should be able to fully accomplish their expectations. So all developmental activities largely depend upon proper communication, and perceptual barriers in the learning place can inhibit effective communication between teachers and students. And I'll discuss solutions for this problem. So according to ifyoq.com, perceptual barriers are the mental blocks we create because of perceptions that we have of certain people, situations, or events around us. They disrupt effective communication because they prevent us from having healthy conversations with others. So many school districts now are very diverse, and the multiple cultural backgrounds are one of the reasons that there are many different ways to perceive what the teacher says. And according to Dr. Shafayet Ali Malik, the most common problem in communication is that we simply have different opinions. He states that we all have our own preferences, values, attitudes, origins, and life experiences that act as filters for people, events, and information that we experience. So perceptive barriers affect the learning place because it interrupts the way that we process information and prevent us from developing accurate perceptions of others. And they also encourage us to act out of personal interest and make many assumptions. So this study focuses on investigating the communication barriers between students and lecturers of the UTMB Kuala Lumpur campus. The respondents are from the diploma, undergraduate, and postgraduate students and lecturers. And these students and lecturers come from various backgrounds with different cultural norms and values. So based off of what they said, behind language, perceptual barriers was the second top communication barrier identified with students and teachers. Perceptive and semantic barriers often intertwine, and there are many ways to overcome these barriers. And some of these include cross-culture awareness, active listening, asking questions, and being explicit. So these 4 solutions were suggested by Harappa.com. So for cross-culture awareness, the explanation is that there's no better antidote to semantic and culture barriers than curiosity about the world. And in addition to effective communication, active listening is the best way to establish context. And this is just acknowledging who's talking and what they might be trying to express through what they're saying. Also, avoid assuming the meaning and mutual understanding with the students. So when in doubt, just ask questions. Lastly, be explicit and express expectations clearly in order to avoid miscommunication. So all of these solutions will minimize the probability of ineffective communication, and they will also most likely build strong relationships and even motivate learning. So according to understood.org, you will not only develop a flair for impactful communication, but also develop powerful relationships. And you will learn to use appropriate pace, tone, and body language when speaking to others. While taking more time to make sure every student is able to understand what is being taught, you will see results of improved understanding and higher motivation. According to Lumen Learning, selective perception refers to filtering what we see and hear to suit our own needs. This process is often unconscious, so over time we will begin to make assumptions about the way things are on the basis of our past experiences. For teachers, it is important to think about the audience and encourage questions from their students. When teaching, University of Waterloo suggests these 6 steps. Number 1, stop and focus on the other person. Number 2, look and pay attention to nonverbal messages. Number 3, listen for the essence of the speaker's thoughts. Number 4, be empathetic to the feeling of the student. And number 5, ask questions to clarify understanding and demonstrating what's being said. And then number 6, allow or paraphrase to allow the student to clarify the points that you've made. In conclusion, it is important to understand how to effectively teach your students because the classrooms are very diverse. There are many different perceptions that could be taking place. So I encourage you to implement these steps in your everyday routine as a teacher. And remember that everybody has been in the student's shoes. So whether you've had a bad or good experience with education, I recommend that you do what's best for the students.